Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Also on podcasts everywhere, and you can search previous episodes on talklawradio.com, and you can stream those episodes from that website. That's talklawradio.com. And if you're interested in being a sponsor or a guest, you can email me at host@talklawradio.com. That's HOST@talklawradio.com. Here with Patricia Jimenez with the Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving Dinner. And we're talking about what the event is going to be like this year. But first, I want to talk about eggnog.
Okay.
Eggnog is one of my favorite things this time of the year. And so I call this eggnog season because as soon as eggnog runs out, the grocery stores will no longer carry it. And so I have to just take my eggnog when I can get it. And I like eggnog so much that I have to start exercising twice a day to keep my diet in check because eggnog has a lot of calories. They put a lot of sugar in it. And just for fun, one year I decided to make my own eggnog, and I found a recipe that is thought to come from George Washington, one of our founding fathers. The only thing that he left out of his recipe was how many eggs to include. And so somebody was trying to engineer his recipe, and they think that it takes about a dozen eggs to do this one recipe.
Ooh. And so how many people does that recipe feed?
When I did it, it was 2 quarts, I think. And so most people just want 1 glass, because it's so rich in calories.
Yes.
And if you put liquor in it, then some people are trying to be careful with that as well. And this recipe from George Washington, they say, was very heavy with liquor.
Ah.
So it says you put cream, milk, sugar, brandy, rye whiskey, Jamaican rum, sherry.
Oh, wow.
And then one thing that makes it difficult is you have to separate the yolk from the other stuff in the egg.
Yes.
I don't know what they call that, the whites. So if you're not real good at the strategy on separating them, it can be quite messy. But you need the whites later. So what you do with the whites is you beat it until it becomes like fluffy, and then you have to put it back into the mixture, and I forget the word that they use, but you fold it in.
Wow. That seems like a lot of work, but a lot of commitment, and like you have to have some skills.
Well, it helps if you have skills, but you can still drink it even if it turns out badly. But there is one danger. You're putting raw eggs in your drink, and so there is a danger of salmonella.
Well, when you said that about 12 eggs, that just seemed like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But if it feeds, if it's enough servings to feed a nice sized group, then it's not as bad.
I'm glad you mentioned that because there's a criticism for store mass manufactured eggnog that the FDA only requires about 1% of it to be actual eggs. And so the criticism is it's really that type of eggnog is just egg-flavored milk.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Either way, it's very good in my mind. That's one of my favorite things about Thanksgiving and Christmas. And although some people may only drink it during one of those holidays, I try and drink as much of it as I can until from now, because it's already out,
Yes.
until say after Christmas, I think is when they stop making it, or maybe New Year's.
That's how I feel about the pumpkin pie. I don't bake my own, but as soon as I see the little sign at Bill Miller's that says pumpkin pie for sale, I start indulging.
I love
It's
it.
not quite time yet, but it's only during that time frame between Thanksgiving and Christmas that I really would have that type of pie.
Okay.
So I'm going to indulge just like you with the
Good.
eggnog.
Good. Okay, so we've been talking about eggnog, but our real purpose here today is to talk about the Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving Dinner. And with me is Patricia Jimenez, and we're on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. So, Patricia, tell us what's going to be different this year over what was happening the last couple of years.
Well, we're very excited and happy to announce that this year we will be back in the convention center, which is huge because the event was originally created for people to come and have fellowship and to not be alone. And for the last 2 years, we've had to have special circumstances with the pandemic where we only delivered meals to homes. And even last year, people were kind of sad that we weren't having it in person, but it was for everyone's safety. It would have been one of
Right.
the largest events to kick off, last year, and we didn't want to,
You don't want
run
to
the
make
risk.
you don't want to make people sick.
Yes,
Yeah.
being a super spreader, that would have been awful. And so this year, everything is appearing to be a lot more stable, and so we will be having it at the convention center. Of course, people are free to, do what they feel is best for them, which means if somebody wants to come and they want to wear a mask, they can wear a mask. If somebody doesn't want to wear a mask, they don't have to. But we are having it in person, but we still allocate 3,500 meals to be delivered out into the
okay.
community for those that absolutely cannot make it.
Right.
I mean, unfortunately, we won't be able to deliver to everyone in need. It's first come, first serve. But if anybody is interested, we are taking reservations now, and they can call 211, which is coordinated through the United Way, and they will choose option 1, and then they choose it again, and then they'll be able to speak to somebody live about getting something delivered to their home.
Okay. And so do people that plan to go to the convention center also need to make a reservation?
No, they do not, and we do have a little bit of a difference in time, in the time that we're having the event. This year, we start an all-faith worship service at 10, and then we start serving from 10:30 to 3. So in the past, we've had it till about 4:30, but this year we decided we are going to have it serve more people, but in a shorter time frame. But it's still enough time. So from 10:30 to 3 p.m., we will definitely be serving meals. And you don't have to check in. The good news is that if you don't have transportation or you don't want to worry about trying to drive to the convention center, if you want, you can take a via bus and just let them know you're coming to the Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving Dinner. If you have certain disabilities that require special via transportation, like Via Trans, I believe, has the lift where you can go in a wheelchair and it's lifted up. You do have to, I believe, coordinate those efforts in advance, but it won't cost a thing.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. How many people do you think you'll be able to serve?
Well, we're planning on serving 25,000 individuals, or enough to feed 25,000 individuals that
Okay.
day.
And so they don't have to show up at 10. They could show up at 11 or 12.
Yes, that is correct. And everybody is served. So they go and find a seat, and everybody is served. Nobody has to wait in line. And so we have music and we have entertainment, and we like to call it a feast of the heart, because it's about the fellowship and it's about feeding the soul, not just in addition to nourishing a person's body.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus said you can't live on bread alone.
That is correct. And I think more than ever with the pandemic, where people were isolated and didn't have that contact with others, that's what, when you say you can't live on bread alone, means you have to have that interaction with others.
Right. Okay. So I read something about your father and his love of senior citizens. Tell me about that.
Well, my father was very close to his grandmother. I was told by my aunt, his sister, that sometimes he would, he was a very energetic kid. And sometimes, energetic kids, they have a lot of confidence and they want to just get out there and do things. And he would get into trouble, let's just say that. And so his dad would be very upset, but his grandmother would always come to the rescue. She had that bond with him where she would, be able to convince my dad's father, hey, you know what, take it easy, kind of come to the rescue and defend him a bit. So he was very close to his grandmother, and she lived with them, so he understood what it was to, have an elderly person around and to understand that they weren't always able to do for themselves, and sometimes they relied on family or were on a fixed income and didn't have anybody to help them. So he said, in gratitude for my blessings, I want to do something special. And I think that Thanksgiving would be appropriate, because what better holiday than Thanksgiving, when you're supposed to be thankful for your blessings, to do something for somebody else who, may not be in a position, and to be able to help them and do something nice for them on Thanksgiving.
That's awesome.
That's how it all started.
I really like that. So that ties in with what we do at Marquardt Law Firm. We focus on helping those who have challenges or who are older, because I had a similar experience with my grandparents. My parents were divorced, and my mom worked full-time and still had to cook and do our laundry. And so my grandparents would help us out a lot and take me to get my hair cut or take me to swimming lessons. So we have to take another break, but when we come back, we'll be talking more about the Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving Dinner, about volunteering, about donating, and about sponsoring. Stay with us.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Week, attorney Todd Marquardt talks about the law. His mission with the Talk Law Radio show and podcast is to help you discover your legal issue blind spots. In the beginning, God had one law. Don't eat from the fruit of that tree. Then came the 10 Commandments. Now we have federal, state, and municipal lawmakers that won't stop creating new laws. Laws that might impact you without you knowing it. Listen to the show and drop a line on Facebook or email host@talklawradio.com and let the host know what you think of the show, the topics you want to hear, and whether you want to be a guest.